as promised, the comparison video of the new Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite wireless gaming headset to the Audeze Maxwells. Now again, this is just a comparison video where we'll be covering the basics from comfort, build, mic test, and sound. If you want a deep dive standalone review of either of these headsets, I will have them linked right down in the description. Let's go on and start with comfort, and we got to check the weight of both of these headsets. On the Pulse Elites, we're getting 342 grams. Coming over here to the Audeze Maxwells, and yes, I do have my Wicked cushions and the Wicked Cush headband, which add a pinch of weight, but this headset comes in at 584 grams. And again, even without my mods, this headset is incredibly heavy. And as far as ear pad dimensions, as you see on the Pulse Elite, they're pretty much full circles. As I stated before, they are a little shallower in the front and pretty deep in the back. Now, as far as the Audeze Maxwells, again, I do have my Wicked cushions on here, but the dimensions of these are pretty similar to the stock pads. It's really the feel and the cooling gel that are going to be on these. They are a little bit shallower in the front, hopefully you can see that, and then a little deeper in the back. Again, same with the stock pads. That's just so the driver is direct into your ears, which we'll talk about in the sound. But again, the feel of these with the cooling gel, man, they're fantastic. I can't wait for Wicked Cushions to make some pads for the new Pulse Elite. Now, as far as feel of the pads, over here on the Pulse Elite, again, they are fully pleather inside and out, but holy smokes, these things are incredibly plush. They got that nice soft memory foam feel. As you see them just coming up there, now you can see the fabric going all the way to the outside. That is not complete pad. I can bend it over. You can see this is plastic down here, and then the other half bit is padding up there. So no, that entire deal is not padding, but your ears really don't touch it at all or anything. Plenty comfortable. It's just your ears are going to get spicy since they are fully pleather. Again, coming over here to my Maxwells, the stock pads are fully pleather like that again, so they do get spicy, but with the Wicked cushions, the cooling gel, very much improved. I absolutely love these, but again, the stock pads are very similar to these. Now, as far as adjustability on both of these headsets, it's quite minimal, but it definitely does the job. Over here on the Pulse Elite, as you see, it's fully plastic going all the way up there, so you don't have that traditional arm pulling out. It's really just that tension on the headband. Coming over here to the Maxwells, again, you don't have those arms to pull out. It's just this headband, which you can adjust on those notches right inside there. This is the same with the stock headband, even though I got the Wicked cushion one on. The stock ones is just leather. They both feel pretty much the same. It's just aesthetics, but minimal adjustments on both of them, but they both fit head shapes pretty well. Now, of course, the most important thing as far as comfort is whenever you put them on your head, and this will differ person to person. You have a bigger head, a smaller head, more hair, which isn't hard to beat. But when we take the new PlayStation Pulse Elite and put this on the head, it just forms right into that position. Talking about there being minimal adjustment, it's just a headband which moves at that perfect tension. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. Whenever I put it on my head, that clamping force is right on that line between medium and light. It doesn't move around, but it's not pressing onto me. Very comfortable for glasses wearers as well. But again, with those pleather ear pads, same as you get over on the Maxwells, it does hold your glasses really tight. So if you need to do that little adjustment of your glasses, again, you'll catch yourself fighting for that. But I don't get any pressure points here. No, nothing. It's just incredibly stinking cozy. The only thing you're going to notice is those ear pads getting a little spicy. Coming over here to the Maxwells, again, the clamping force on this is definitely lighter, but that also goes into play with the weight of this headset. It's incredibly heavy, so whenever you move around, that weight's going to budge around. Now, you don't feel this pressing on the side of your heads by any means. The clamp force is definitely on that lighter side, but you do feel it resting on your head. That's a good thing with these really big headbands. Even with the stock one or the Wicked cushion one, the weight is distributed really nicely across your head. And again, I got a bald head here, so I'm going to feel a little bit more. If you got more hair, you're not going to notice that more, but you will again feel it resting on your head because this headset is incredibly heavy, and for longer game sessions you're going to notice that. So as far as comfort, I will say they both are stinking cozy for sure, but I would rather use the Pulse Elite for longer game sessions. That weight on the Maxwells, again, you're going to notice after a while. Now let's talk about the build of these headsets, as they are significantly different, and I want to start with the Maxwells. Again, relating back to that weight with the build of this headset, you got these metal forks, the metal headband, these big juicy drivers. Again, that weight goes in line with the build. This headset is solid. As you see, you got the adjustability in the ear cups right there, and whenever I stretch it out, the headband stops you from going any further. When I twist it up, I don't really get worried, even though it is heavy. Again, it just feels premium and very solid in the hand. And when I set it down, it just, again, feels solid as well. I don't get worried about it. It is built incredibly solid, as we're familiar with Audeze. Now, coming over here to the Pulse Elite, it's significantly different. Again, with that weight. It's a lot lighter. The entire headset is plastic going all around here. You got the silicone headband. It is just noticeably lighter and does feel a little bit cheaper than the Maxwells. The one thing I don't like is the adjustability of these ear cups. Well, I like how they adjust, but I don't like how easy they adjust. You can just hear them. They bang around, they move super easy. I mean, it just makes me nervous. And if I drop this, the ear cups, again, they just jolt around, and I feel like that's gonna be an issue down the road. Now I can take the Pulse Elite and stretch it out, twist it up, and as you see, I'm really holding those ear cups pretty steady because that is my nervous point. But as far as the frame itself, it feels nice and robust. Again, the ear cups are the only thing that freak me out. So as far as build and in the hand feel, I gotta give the win to the Audeze Maxwells, no denying. I mean, they are just built like a tank, but that also goes into that weight. And I've stated it many times before that I will take a plastic lightweight headset over a heavy duty one. As I stated with comfort, I'd rather have this on my head for longer sessions than the Maxwells with that lighter weight. Now let's go and do that microphone test. And what you're hearing right now is the Pulse Elite. And I highly recommend you go watch the standalone video I did on this headset because we did that microphone test where they talk about eliminating that background noise or if you're eating or something. And I ate a bag of kettle cooked chips, which are extra crispy, right? And the crazy thing is you really didn't hear me eating them at all. It was super cool. We also did the fan test, which you couldn't really hear the fan as well. So it's super awesome. I'll do a quick little test here. We'll try some banging around of stuff and noises in front of the microphone here. So I can see it is picking some up, but again, barely. Again, go watch the standalone video because it was super cool as far as eating chips and then the fan noise there. Now, the other cool thing about this microphone is it is retractable. As you see now, it is into the headset and I can still use it this way. You're probably hearing a whole lot more background noise, but it's cool not to have this microphone in front of you, even though this headset is quite, again, bold and they got all these things everywhere. So it looks like you always have a mic there anyways, but at least you don't have this big old thing in front of you, which it does sound better like this. But again, cool to use it either way. The other thing I really like is the microphone mute button. It's right up here on the front. You saw that little light right there. Now you press right on the microphone for the mute. You also get the tone in the headset. I honestly wish the mute button was out here so you wouldn't get that little bit of feedback whenever you mute it or your fingers aren't right by your mouth. But again, cool little touch to get the notification and the light. But anyways, enough of this microphone. Let's go and plug up the Maxwells and see how it stacks up to the Pulse Elite. And now you're hearing the microphone on the Audeze Maxwells. Now this microphone is really adjustable as far as the volume and distance from your mouth. So if I pull it up closer on my mouth, you can see it picks up significantly more right here. Like it's almost picking up how the Pulse Elite was. But if I pull it away how it was right there, almost like 2 fingers distance, it almost drops halfway. And it's probably going to get a little bit more of that clear so it's not picking up a lot of those P's and T's, which I have. And you also have that windscreen on this as well. But I'll show you even more. If I pull it further away here, it might sound like the Pulse Elites with the retractor where you're getting a whole lot more room noise. So it's pretty cool. Again, especially if you're on console, you can really adjust this rather than having to go into your settings to adjust your microphone level. You can just sit here and adjust it for the people like, hey man, you're too loud. Okay, pull it out just a little bit. Or you're too quiet, pull it closer a little bit right there. Really cool. Now your mute button is on the outside. Really cool right here. Tone in the headset as well, but I really love that switch. It's just clear as day. It's not like a little button you got to press like, oh wait, am I actually muted? You can clearly tell, hey, that button just clicked down. But anyways, as far as the microphone, that was the Pulse Elite. This is the Audeze Maxwells. Which one's going to take the win? We're both going to listen together. And now for one of the most important topics, the sound. And this is a really interesting topic with these because we're talking Audeze Maxwell with planar magnetic drivers, and now Sony owning Audeze as they recently bought them out. And this is Sony's first iteration with planar magnetic headphones. I know they did the earbuds, but as far as headphones, how are they stacking up? Are you getting the same experience here, right? So in my standalone review, I told you as far as the Pulse Elite, you get that detail, you get that crispness, you can really adjust all your sounds in the system. Again, if you want that deep dive, go watch that video, but you can adjust EQs in there and really play around with it. But you're getting that planar magnetic vibe here with that environment, that really rich environment. The dialogue is crisp, so you can get dialogue and action at the same time, and it's really crisp. But the downfall we had with the Pulse Elites was that heavy bass. Say music, if you're listening to rap or something, or EDM, and you get really heavy bass situations, it can get muddy. But it's a little different when you get into gaming. You might be thinking Destiny or Shooter or Diablo, which I play a lot. It'll get muddy as well. And you don't really get that over in gaming because it's not that constant heavy bass as you get in, say, rap or EDM. Now with Diablo being crazy with a lot of enemies, if I crank the bass up on an EQ setting, I will get that result here. So I kept my bass down to like maybe a notch or a notch and a half max, pending what I wanted, and then you can get it. So no, this isn't bass heavy, but you're not going to get that with any planar magnetic headset because again, you don't got those drivers beating in and out, kind of like a subwoofer if you're familiar with. But it's pretty much how every other gaming headset is. But planar magnetic drivers, you're not going to get that punchy sound. But if you try to get that bass out of this, it does become muddy. So coming over here to the Audeze Maxwells, you're going to get, again, that crisp sound, that detail, that dialogue, what you expect to get with planar magnetic. I think you're all familiar with these. The Penrose and then the Maxwell's being incredibly popular lately. You get that great sound. The difference here is whenever you try to crank up bass on the Maxwells, it doesn't become muddy and staticky and just a jumbled mess like they were on the Pulse Elites. They do become a lot softer and they don't sound great by any means, but it's not all just gurgly and garbagey, you know? It just becomes incredibly soft, like the bass and mids are working together and drowning out some of the highs. So you can still listen that way, which I wouldn't recommend, but when you dial both of these headsets down to, again, that recommended range where I told you, they both shine incredibly well. I will tell you the Maxwells, as far as those highs and that brightness and that just peak sound out there, the Maxwells will become a little bit more potent. They kind of got a little bit more punch in the background there as far as that volume and such. Not saying these are quiet. I honestly had to turn these down a little bit. But when I did crank them up to max volume, again, I got a little bit more sparkle and pizzazz out of the Maxwells. But it's not, again, game-changing or deal-breaking one to the other, but you did get a little something extra over here. So as far as the winner of sound, I will give the win to the Audeze Maxwells, but that is not shaming the new Pulse Elite. Again, this headset sounds phenomenal, and if you put it in that range where I recommended in my standalone video, this truly shines, and when you get in that range, you'll be hard to tell the difference of either. Now, the biggest difference here is going to be the price of these headsets, with the Audeze Maxwells coming in around $300, and then the PlayStation Pulse Elite coming in at half that price at $150. And with the Pulse Elite, packing what it's packing, simultaneous Bluetooth, awesome comfort, the features and functions, the great microphone at $150, half the price of the Maxwells, I mean, it's almost a no-brainer. I would clear as day recommend the Pulse Elite over the Maxwells. But now both of these headsets are absolutely phenomenal. Again, I'm an Audeze fanboy, have been since day one, and the Maxwells are phenomenal. But the Pulse Elite just has me giddy here, even though as a reviewer, and we get all sorts of stuff sent to us, high-end stuff, $5,000 headphones, stuff like this, $150, packing what it's packing, letting everybody be able to experience planar magnetic drivers and awesome features and function makes me smile. And this is stuff I want to use and share. And being able to offer something like this and Sony delivering this is just awesome to see. And golly, high five Sony. Trust me, try these out. They are phenomenal. And yeah, they're going to take my win out of this comparison. So thank you so much for coming by for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help you out one way or another. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, because our following comparison video to the Pulse Elite will be to the original PlayStation Pulse to see if it's worthy of an upgrade. So please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, and I hope I see you there. Bye now.